Have you ever wondered if the world is on the brink of something unimaginable? A haunting prophecy. One that could redefine the entire course of human history. Was left behind by the famous saint, Padre Pio. However, this prophecy is not just a distant memory, it may be closely linked to the events unfolding in 2024. Governments collapsing. Economies in peril. And rumors of weakened leaders. Could all of this be part of a cosmic puzzle that Padre Pio predicted? Let's explore Padre Pio and the things he foresaw, to see if his prophecies are indeed reflecting the reality we are facing today. Feel free to like and subscribe for more insights into this mysterious prophecy and its connection to our world today. Padre Pio. Born Francesco Forgione on May 25, 1887, in the small Italian village of Pietrelcina. Came into the world as the son of a humble family deeply rooted in Catholic faith. From a young age, his spirituality was extraordinary, standing out even among other children. He spent hours in prayer and devotion, often reporting mystical experiences, including visions of Jesus Christ and the Virgin Mary. His early life was marked by a profound sense of the divine, a sense that would shape his destiny and eventually make him one of the most revered, yet controversial, religious figures of the 20th century. Francesco's devotion to God led him to join the Capuchin order in 1903. And he took the name Padre Pio upon his ordination as a priest in 1910. His vocation was one of humility and deep service to others, living in a small friary and engaging with the people around him through both acts of charity and the sacraments. Padre Pio's life, however, was far from conventional. While his commitment to God was unwavering, his spiritual journey was marked by an array of mystical experiences, many of which were difficult for others to understand. In 1918, during a period of intense prayer and reflection, Padre Pio received the stigmata, wounds mirroring those of Christ's crucifixion, on his hands, feet, and side. These wounds, which bled continuously for 50 years, became a defining characteristic of his life and ministry. The stigmata baffled scientists and sparked widespread debate. Some viewed it as a miraculous sign of divine favor, while others questioned its authenticity. Regardless of the controversy, the wounds deeply inspired the faithful, who saw them as proof of Padre Pio's sanctity and closeness to Christ. But Padre Pio's life was not just about miraculous signs. His existence was fraught with personal suffering. The physical pain caused by the stigmata was excruciating, and his health was often frail. More profoundly, he faced significant spiritual suffering, struggling with doubts and periods of intense spiritual darkness, known as the dark night of the soul. These experiences were compounded by the scrutiny and suspicion of the Church. In the early years, Padre Pio was subject to investigations, with some accusing him of fraud and exaggerating his spiritual gifts. At one point, the Church even restricted his ability to publicly celebrate Mass or hear confessions, leading to years of isolation. Despite these trials, Padre Pio remained resolute in his faith and devotion to God. His response to the hardships of his life demonstrated a profound inner strength and a deep commitment to his mission. Throughout his life, he continued to be a channel of divine healing, offering hope to countless individuals who came to him in search of solace, prayer, and miraculous cures. His fame spread far beyond Italy, as people from around the world traveled to his monastery in San Giovanni Rotondo to seek his intercession. Padre Pio's legacy is not only one of miracles and mystical experiences, but also of unwavering faith amidst immense personal and spiritual challenges. His life continues to inspire millions of people around the globe, drawing them closer to a deeper understanding of faith, suffering, and the profound mystery of God's love. His canonization as a saint in 2002 confirmed his place as one of the most beloved and influential figures in the modern Catholic Church, ensuring that his story will be told for generations to come. Padre Pio's mysticism extended beyond personal experiences to prophetic visions that warned of humanity's spiritual decline. His prophecies, often cryptic but deeply urgent, focused on the themes of suffering, purification, and the need for mankind to return to God. Padre Pio believed his connection to the divine allowed him to see beyond time, providing solemn warnings to a world he saw heading toward moral and spiritual ruin. One of the most prominent aspects of his prophetic messages was his warning about the coming global conflict. Padre Pio predicted the outbreak of World War II long before it unfolded. He spoke of great suffering and destruction but emphasized that the spiritual damage would be even more profound. He believed that the moral decay of society would lead to wars and ideologies that opposed God's teachings. His messages encouraged the faithful to pray and seek peace, hoping to avert the suffering he foresaw. His prophecies also touched on the state of the Church. Padre Pio foresaw a crisis that would shake the foundations of faith, with confusion and division sweeping through the clergy and laity. He spoke of a great trial that would test the faithful, urging them to remain steadfast even when faced with doubt. Despite the darkness he saw ahead, he believed that this period of trial would eventually lead to spiritual renewal and a deeper understanding of God's love. In his visions, Padre Pio emphasized the power of prayer and sacrifice to mitigate the effects of future calamities. His own life was a testament to this belief, as he endured suffering while offering his pain for the salvation of souls. Padre Pio was convinced that if humanity returned to God through prayer and repentance, the tragedies he foresaw could be averted or softened. His prophecies remain relevant today, especially in times of crisis. The world he warned of, a world marked by materialism, violence, and moral decay, seems increasingly real. However, his call for prayer, repentance, and spiritual renewal continues to offer hope. Padre Pio's prophetic words serve as a reminder that redemption is possible, and the world can still turn back toward God before it is too late. Through his visions, Padre Pio continues to inspire the faithful, guiding them through challenging times with his message of both caution and hope. The life of Padre Pio has sparked ongoing debates, particularly surrounding the authenticity of his miracles, stigmata, and prophecies. For many, he is regarded as a true saint, a man whose spiritual gifts were direct manifestations of God's power. Others, however, question whether his experiences were genuine or the result of psychological factors, exaggeration, or even misinterpretation. This debate has persisted for decades, fueled by both fervent devotion and skepticism. One of the most controversial aspects of Padre Pio's life was his stigmata, the visible wounds on his hands, feet, and side, which bled continuously for 50 years. To many, these wounds were seen as a sign of his deep union with Christ's suffering. The faithful viewed the stigmata as proof of his sanctity, believing that only a holy person could bear such a miraculous sign. Critics, however, including doctors and theologians, raised questions about the stigmata's authenticity, suggesting that it could have been explained by natural causes, such as self-inflicted wounds or a psychological condition known as stigmata syndrome, where people develop wounds resembling those of Christ under intense religious fervor. The controversy surrounding his stigmata was further fueled by his reluctance to allow full medical examination. Some speculated that the wounds might have been fabricated or the result of psychological phenomena. Padre Pio was subjected to several investigations by the Vatican during his life. In 1923, He was temporarily forbidden from celebrating Mass publicly or hearing confessions. With some church officials concerned that the extraordinary events surrounding him might be misleading the faithful. However, over time, these restrictions were lifted, and the Church continued to investigate his case. Despite some skepticism, Padre Pio's followers continued to believe in the authenticity of his miraculous signs. In addition to the stigmata, Padre Pio's ability to read souls was another aspect of his mysticism that sparked both admiration and doubt. He was reportedly able to discern the secrets of those who came to him for confession, which amazed many and led to a widespread belief in his extraordinary spiritual insight. For those who sought his guidance, it was clear that Padre Pio had a deep connection with the divine, and his spiritual wisdom transformed countless lives. The debate surrounding Padre Pio's life extended beyond his physical phenomena to include his prophecies. Many people found comfort and guidance in his predictions about world events, while others felt his visions were open to interpretation and too vague to be considered true prophecy. His warnings about wars, natural disasters, and moral decline often reflected the tumultuous times in which he lived, leading some critics to suggest that these predictions were not divine revelations but simply reflections of contemporary fears. Despite the skepticism and investigations, the miracles associated with Padre Pio were too numerous to ignore. Many reports emerged of people being healed from terminal illnesses or experiencing spiritual transformations attributed to his prayers. These miracles, combined with his profound spiritual insights, were central to his growing popularity. Despite facing opposition, Padre Pio remained steadfast in his devotion to God, and his influence continued to expand. The Vatican's eventual recognition of Padre Pio's sanctity further solidified his place in history. In 1999, he was beatified, and in 2002, he was canonized by Pope John Paul II, who had a personal admiration for the friar. The Church's recognition of Padre Pio's holiness was a powerful endorsement of his authenticity, despite the controversies that surrounded his life. Ultimately, the debate surrounding Padre Pio is a reminder of the tension between faith and reason. Some may always question the supernatural aspects of his life, but the profound impact he had on millions of people and the ongoing reverence for his memory cannot be easily dismissed. Whether his experiences were genuine or influenced by psychological or cultural factors, his legacy continues to inspire and challenge our understanding of the divine in the modern world. For many, Padre Pio remains a symbol of faith, humility, and the power of prayer. Padre Pio's legacy remains relevant today, especially in a world that often prioritizes materialism, science, and skepticism over faith and the supernatural. His life challenges modern sensibilities, particularly the idea that divine intervention, mysticism, and miracles are relics of a bygone era. In a time when empirical evidence is king, the mystical experiences Padre Pio lived through, including his stigmata and miraculous healings, call us to reconsider what is possible beyond the limits of reason. His story speaks to a world where the divine is often seen as distant or abstract, inviting us to reflect on the boundaries between faith and reason. In modern society, faith and mysticism can feel out of place. We are surrounded by advancements in science and technology that offer tangible, rational explanations for much of the world around us. Yet, Padre Pio's life reminds us that not everything can be explained by science. His mysticism invites us to open our hearts to divine mysteries, allowing space for faith in what we cannot see or understand. His life calls us to embrace spirituality, not as a logical pursuit, but as an act of the soul, one that transcends rationality. The tension between faith and skepticism is especially evident in today's world, where doubt often prevails. Yet, Padre Pio's life exemplified the power of faith to move beyond doubt, showing how devotion and connection to the divine can yield profound personal and spiritual transformation. His life also serves as a counterpoint to the modern obsession with self-promotion, as his humility, service, and sacrifice stood in stark contrast to contemporary ideals of success. His commitment to selflessness, despite personal suffering, challenges the individualism that dominates much of today's world. Moreover, his prophecies resonate with our current global challenges. In a world rife with conflict, environmental issues, and social divisions, his warnings about moral decay and the need for spiritual renewal continue to feel relevant. While some may dismiss his prophecies as reflecting the concerns of his time, others see them as timeless messages urging humanity to return to its spiritual roots. In a society increasingly marked by secularism and consumerism, Padre Pio's call to spiritual renewal feels like a necessary reminder of higher values beyond worldly success. In conclusion, Padre Pio's life and miracles challenge us to reconsider the relationship between faith, science, and the mysteries of existence. While his experiences may be difficult for some to accept, his life remains a beacon of devotion, humility, and sacrifice. In today's world, where many are searching for meaning and purpose, his example offers an invitation to explore the deeper dimensions of life and spirituality. Whether we accept his mystical experiences or not, Padre Pio's story continues to inspire us to live with faith, humility, and a sense of connection to something greater than ourselves. The life of Padre Pio offers timeless lessons drawn from his extraordinary spirituality, suffering, and devotion. His journey, filled with mystical experiences and miracles, provides valuable insights that resonate across time and cultures. One significant lesson Padre Pio's story teaches is the importance of humility. Despite his mystical gifts and widespread fame, he chose a life of service and sacrifice, constantly deflecting attention away from himself. His example calls us to reflect on the true meaning of greatness, which lies not in wealth or recognition but in selflessness and devotion to others. In today's world, where success is often measured by material achievement, Padre Pio's life serves as a reminder of the power of humility. Another lesson from his life is the strength of perseverance in the face of adversity. Padre Pio endured both physical and spiritual suffering, including the continuous pain of the stigmata and skepticism from the Church. Despite these challenges, he remained steadfast in his mission, providing spiritual guidance and healing to countless individuals. His example teaches us that faith and devotion can provide the strength needed to endure life's trials. Padre Pio also exemplified the power of prayer. For him, prayer was not just an act of devotion but a deep connection to God. His commitment to daily prayer, particularly the Rosary and the Massachusetts, was central to his life. In a time where distractions are many, Padre Pio's example encourages us to prioritize spiritual discipline and reflection, reminding us of the transformative power of prayer and connection with the divine. The miracles Padre Pio performed offer another important lesson: the healing power of faith. His ability to heal physical ailments and provide spiritual guidance shows the profound impact faith can have. These miracles were not just physical healings but spiritual restorations, offering hope and peace to those who sought his help. Padre Pio's story challenges us to recognize that, while modern medicine is invaluable, faith and spirituality can also play a transformative role in healing. Padre Pio's life also teaches us about the redemptive power of suffering. In an age that seeks to avoid pain, Padre Pio's ability to embrace suffering as a path to spiritual growth challenges conventional wisdom. His own physical and spiritual pain was a source of grace, through which he helped others. His example invites us to reconsider how we view suffering, suggesting that, when faced with faith, it can be a means of personal and spiritual development. Padre Pio's life holds broader lessons for humanity, especially in times of crisis. During the tumultuous 20th century, marked by wars and social upheaval, Padre Pio's unwavering faith provided a beacon of hope for those in need. In today's divided world, his example of love, compassion, and unity remains relevant. He teaches us that spirituality has the power to unite and heal, even when external circumstances seem bleak. In conclusion, the life of Padre Pio provides powerful lessons on humility, perseverance, prayer, faith, and the redemptive value of suffering. His story is not only about miracles but about the deeper truths of the human experience. His example encourages us to live with greater devotion, compassion, and faith, offering timeless wisdom that speaks to us today. Padre Pio's life is a beacon of lessons that transcend time and culture. His example offers not just inspiration but also a call to action, urging us to live with a deeper sense of purpose and commitment to our faith and values. His enduring message challenges us to look inward and ask how we can live lives marked by humility, service, and devotion. One key lesson from Padre Pio is the call to humility in the face of success. Despite his fame and the miraculous events surrounding him, Padre Pio never sought recognition. Instead, he always pointed to God as the source of his strength. In today's world, where ego and pride often lead the way, his example calls us to remain humble, regardless of our accomplishments. Whether in our personal, professional, or spiritual lives, humility allows us to foster authentic connections and offer service to others without seeking self-aggrandizement. Padre Pio also teaches us the importance of perseverance, especially in times of hardship. Life is rarely free from challenges, and the ability to remain steadfast in our faith during difficult times is vital. His personal struggles with physical pain, spiritual doubts, and external opposition from the Church reveal how faith can sustain us when everything else falters. His example invites us to find strength in our beliefs and keep pushing forward, knowing that suffering is often a precursor to deeper understanding and growth. Furthermore, his unwavering commitment to prayer is a powerful reminder of its role in our lives. For Padre Pio, prayer was not just an obligation but a lifeline, a constant dialogue with God. He dedicated countless hours to prayer and the sacraments, even while enduring physical suffering. In our busy, fast-paced world, the lesson is clear: we must make time for prayer and reflection, finding moments to reconnect with the divine. Prayer, as Padre Pio demonstrated, has the power to heal, transform, and guide us in ways beyond our understanding. The call to action also extends to our role in the broader community. Padre Pio's life reminds us that we are not just individuals on a solitary journey but part of a larger human family. His work, focused on healing and comforting others, challenges us to look beyond ourselves and serve the needs of those around us. Whether through acts of kindness, supporting those in need, or simply listening to others, we are invited to carry forward Padre Pio's legacy of love and compassion. Finally, Padre Pio's life calls us to embrace the deeper, often hidden, aspects of faith. His stigmata and other mystical experiences were signs of his deep spiritual connection. But they also illustrate the idea that true faith often requires suffering and sacrifice. In a world that frequently seeks immediate comfort and answers, Padre Pio invites us to embrace the mystery of faith, trusting that God's plan unfolds in ways we may not fully understand. In conclusion, Padre Pio's life offers timeless lessons: humility, perseverance, prayer, compassion, and the willingness to embrace the mysteries of faith. His story encourages us to live with purpose, deepen our spiritual practices, and serve others with love. The call to action is clear: let us be inspired by his example, living lives that reflect his commitment to God and humanity, and carrying forward the light of his teachings into the world today.